Ooh. Got 2 more minutes for rhetoric thoughts? Nope. Don't care. Okay. This is new study showing how COVID causes blood clots. Nope. Georgia, Ruby Freeman lie, mysterious ballot boxes. Ruby Freeman lie, and the mysterious ballot box from under the black table. Okay. Okay. So from the Georgia Senate hearing, December 3rd, and Giuliani on December 10th. Yep. Okay. All right. Trump YouTube video, Rudy Giuliani video. Okay. What is this? Hold on. What do you call the decreasing scale in songs? I don't think there's a word for that. I don't know what you're asking about. Okay. I was running through this list listed here. Okay. Okay, ballots, suitcases. And so he said, oh, these would be examples of people debunking the lie. Oh, actually, they could fit under both.
And I said, no, sir, there is no suitcase. You can watch that video over and over. There is no suitcase. There is a wheeled bin where they carry the ballots, and that's just how they move ballots around that facility. There's nothing suspicious about that at all.
This is on December 15th? Okay.
I told them that there was no multiple scanning of the ballots. One part of that allegation was that they were taking one ballot and scanning it through 3 or 4 or 5 times to rack up votes, presumably for Vice President Biden. I told them that the video did not support that. Then he went off on double voting. At the top of the next page, he said, dead people are voting. Indians are getting paid to vote. He meant people on Native American reservations. He said there's lots of fraud going on here. Told him flat out that much of the information he's getting is false and or just not supported by.
Okay. I don't think I need all this shit up, right? No, we don't. Oh, we already watched this. Okay. Nope. Okay. Several times. Okay, this is... Oh, wait. This was... I'm so sorry. Wait, were we just listening to Rosen or Donahue?
And I said, no, sir, there is no...
This is Donahue. Rosen has the glasses, right?
Over and over. There is the back scanning. Then he went off on double voting. At the top of the next page, he said...
Okay, this was December 27th and 31st. December, okay, 27th and 31st. Okay, Rosen telling Trump about the voter fraud. When did this happen? What is this from? Okay. The problem with this J6 committee doc is it links sometimes to depositions when there's video footage out of people. So this is 105. Transcribed interview, Senate Committee on the Judiciary. Pages 14 to 15. Is A only supposed to be autistic meme shit? Yes. If you're looking for more, you're going to be mad every time. When they're counting ballots. Control F ballots. Wow, damn Gina39, thanks for the gifting of those subs. Is that okay? Rosen, Rosen testifies to this, I think, in front of the committee, where Rosen is saying things like, people are telling you things that aren't true. Control F Rosen, right?
The president said so.
Aren't true. Nope, not you.
Times. Completely without evidence, President Trump and his allies claimed that these suitcases contained as many as 18,000 ballots, all for Joe Biden. None of this was true. But Rudy Giuliani appeared before the Georgia State Senate and played a...
This is the... who is this? This isn't Raffensperger, right? This is another Georgia guy. What's this? Is it Secretary of... His name is right there. PBS NewsHour? Thank you. Secretary of State Chief Operations. It's Gabe Sterling. That's who it is. This guy.
Surveillance video from State Farm Arena falsely claiming that it showed this conspiracy taking place. Here's a sample of what Mr. Giuliani had to say during that hearing.
And when you look at what you saw on the video, which to me was a smoking gun, powerful smoking gun, well, I don't have to be a genius to figure out what happened. Mm-hmm. I don't have to be a genius to figure out that those votes are not legitimate votes. You don't put legitimate votes under a table.
No.
Wait until you throw the opposition out, and in the middle of the night, count them under a table.
No.
Mm-hmm. I don't have to be a genius to figure.
Fuck. When was this? Was this to Georgia? When did Giuliani say this? Do I already have this up here? It's good to have more times of them lying too for this particular claim. It's a specific claim. Pence, this. Random, no. Georgia. Decent.
People shouldn't get away.
Some call here.
Georgia state legislators by me.
U.S.
Georgia. Is this one here? This is Trump.
After
doing it.
Figure out that those votes are not legitimate votes. You don't put legitimate votes under a table.
No.
Wait until you throw the opposition out, and in the middle of the night, count them. We would have to be fools to think that.
President Trump's campaign amplified Giuliani's false testimony in a tweet, pushing out the video footage. Giuliani
Was that on the 3rd? From the same hearing.
Just said they were older.
2 remained behind accidentally, and a Dominion employee.
Was this the day of this on December 3rd?
1.3 million signatures.
To help it. Ever since today started, I have been attacked.
Chill, lady.
Giuliani likewise pushed out his testimony on social media. As you can see in this tweet, Mr. Giuliani wrote that it was, quote, now beyond doubt, unquote, that Fulton County Democrats had stolen the election. Later in this hearing, we'll hear directly from one of the election workers in this video about the effect these lies had on her and on her family. Mr. Sterling, did the investigators in your office review the entire surveillance tape from the State Farm Arena on election night?
They actually reviewed approximately 48 hours going over the time period where action was taking place at the counting center at State Farm Arena.
And what did the tape actually show?
Depending on which time you want to start, because as was mentioned, this conspiracy theory took on a life of its own. where they conflated a water main break that wasn't a water main break and throwing observers out and a series of other things. What it actually showed was Fulton County election workers engaging in normal ballot processing. One of the specific things, one of the things that was very frustrating was the so-called suitcases of ballots from under the table. If you watch the entirety of the video, you saw that these were election workers who were under the impression they were going to get to go home around 10:30. People are putting on their coats. They're putting ballots that are prepared. 3 or 4 will go through.
Does your mom think she's an actor? I have no clue. Fuck. Is this somebody else?
Election fraud that would question the outcome of the election. And because the videotape and the serious allegation that Mr. Giuliani was making
This
respect
guy was a federal court, District of Mr. Pack, judge. District Court of Georgia, Northern District of Georgia, federal judge.
to
Trump hated
a
this guy.
suitcase full of ballots purported in the video. He asked me to find out what I could about it because he had envisioned that in some days after our call that he was going to go to the White House for a meeting and then that issue might come up.
Wait, who asked? Hold
Question
on.
that he had Attorney General Barr and I had a conversation
Barr, okay.
about an unrelated case to the case at issue. At the end of the conversation, Mr. Barr had asked me if I had seen
Video current.
a certain videotape that was being reported in the news where Mr. Giuliani, in a Senate subcommittee hearing that was held the day before, May 3rd, showed a videotape of a purportedly a security tape at the State Farm Arena in Atlanta, which is also in Fulton County, in the city of Atlanta. Yes. At the time, Mr. Barr asked me that he had made a public statement that he had not seen any widespread election fraud that would question the outcome of the election. And because of the videotape and the serious allegation that Mr. Giuliani was making with respect to the suitcase full of ballots reported in the video, he asked me to find out what I could about it because he had envisioned that in some days after our call that he was going to go to the White House for a meeting and then that issue might come up. He asked me to make it a priority to get to the bottom of, just try to substantiate the allegation made by Mr. Giuliani.
Is this even like ordinary business for like, why would a federal judge even be tasked with looking into this if there's not like a case before the court? I wonder how ordinary this even is.
Thank you. I understand the Georgia Secretary of State's office investigated those State Farm Arena allegations and didn't find any evidence of fraud. What did you find when your office conducted its own investigation?
We found that the suitcase full of ballots, the alleged black suitcase that was being seen pulled from under the table, was actually an official lockbox where ballots were kept safe. We found out that there was a mistake in terms of a misunderstanding that they were done counting ballots or tallying ballots for the night, and the partisan watchers that was assigned by each of the respective parties were announced to send home. But once they realized the mistake, someone from the Secretary of State's office had indicated that, no, we're not done for the night. You need to go ahead and continue counting. So once they packed up the lockbox full of ballots, they brought back the official ballot box again. And
He's not a judge, he's a former U.S. attorney, federal prosecutor? I thought he was a former judge. Oh, was he a prosecutor? BJ Pack. His current attorney and publisher who served as the U.S. attorney. Oh, you're totally right. He was a prosecutor. My bad. Okay, I always said he was a judge. I've called him a judge a million times. Okay, he was okay, it makes more sense than why he would be looking into it, because he's a prosecutor. Okay.
continue to tally the ballots from the lockbox. Unfortunately, during the Senate hearing, Mr. Giuliani only played a clip that showed them pulling out the official ballot box from under the table and referring to that as a smoking gun of fraud in Fulton County. But in actuality, in review of the entire video, it showed that was actually an official ballot box that was kept underneath the tables. And then we saw them pack up because the announcement that they thought they were done for the night. And then once the announcement was made that you should continue counting, they brought the ballot box back out and they continued to count. The FBI interviewed the individuals that are depicted in the videos that purportedly were double, triple counting of the ballots and determined that nothing irregular happened in the counting and the allegations made by Mr. Giuliani were false.
Thank you very much. I'd like to play again a testimony from Mr. Donahue, who appeared before the committee before today.
Mr. Donahue, we talked at some length about whether or not the...
Okay. When was this conversation with Barr?
Let the record reflect the witnesses 503. I now recognize the young woman from California, Ms. Lofgren, for questions.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Before the break, I think you all heard Mr. Barr and Mr. Donahue talk about the false claims that Mr. Trump and his supporters made about suitcases of fake today, January of 2021. You were the lead federal prosecutor there and worked for the Department of Justice under then Attorney General Bill Barr. Now, were you ever asked by Attorney General Barr to investigate claims of voter fraud in the 2020 election? And if so, what were those claims?
Thank you, Congressman Lofgren. Thank you for the question. Approximately December 4th, I believe, of 2020.
December 4th.
Attorney General Barr and I had a conversation about an unrelated case at issue. At the end of the conversation, Mr. Barr had asked me if I had seen a certain videotape that was being reported in the news where Mr. Giuliani, in a Senate subcommittee hearing that was held the day before, May 3rd, showed a videotape of a purportedly a security tape at the State Farm Arena in Atlanta, which is also in Fulton County, the city of Atlanta. City of, yes. At the time, Mr.
Notice how he's
Barr
going
asked
through
me
his rehearsed
that
lines.
He had made a public statement.
The hearings at some point, just not day-to-day commenting on.
Loser.
Clear at one, Justice Department officials, experts, the top people in.
Proof of concept.
Of this hearing, reports issued by the Department of Homeland Security's Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency, otherwise known as CISA, that address.
November, around the same time as Mr. Meadows.
What the photographic evidence was, but the cell phone data is singularly unimpressive. I mean, it basically, if you take 2 million cell phones and figure out where they are physically in a big city like Atlanta or wherever, just by definition, you're going to find many hundreds.
Oh my God, is he talking about 2,000 mules?
Assess that 2,000 mules, and people are talking about that.
Well, I mean, just in a nutshell.
Oh, and Barr's not an idiot. It was such a stupid, what a stupid concept. It was a stupid hypothesis.
I just think that the GBI was unimpressed with it, and I was similarly unimpressed with it because I think I was holding my fire on that to see what the photographic evidence was, because I thought,
Yes.
well, hell, if they have a lot of photographs of the same person dumping a lot of ballots in
That
different
would be
boxes,
something compelling,
that's hard to explain.
but they didn't.
So I wanted to see what the photographic evidence was, but the cell phone data is singularly unimpressive. I mean, it basically, if you take 2 million cell phones and figure out where they are physically in a big city like Atlanta or wherever, just by definition, you're going to find many hundreds of them have passed by and spent time in the vicinity of these boxes. And the premise that, if you go by a box, 5 boxes or whatever it was, that's a mule is just indefensible. By definition, you're going to have hundreds of this. I mean, I saw one contractor said, we figured out that our truck alone would account for 6 cell phone signals. This was some kind of contractor. And, our route would take us by these things on a regular basis. So but then when the movie came out, I think the photographic evidence in it was completely
Bullshit.
I mean, there was a little bit of it, but it was lacking.
It was so bad, one of the guys photographed ended up suing the creators, or the publishers maybe?
That was
They took the film down.
Illegal harvesting. The other thing is people don't understand is that it's not clear that even if you can show harvesting, that changes the results of the election. The courts are not going to throw out votes and then figure out what votes were harvested and throw.
What about the others? And
I just want Rosen talking about this. Nope, not here.
Vice President Harris sits down for her first interview since.
No, live. Rosen talking about what? Georgia fraud being bullshit? I'm going through each of these and I just want to find the quotes of these being said. I want to find him saying this. So these are things that, to debunk the claim, and then this is Trump repeating it later. I want the audio of him talking about this. It's just better when I can show them talking about it. So I want Rosen saying this. Rosen testified to this, or he said this in a deposition, and I think a lot of it gets repeated during these J6 committee hearings. So I just want Rosen talking about this. I should just have all these open. Fuck, that's what I should do.
op-eds about executive privilege by Mr.
Former president.
These ones, we don't care about this. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay.
Inspiration to
Shut up. More. Show. Transcript. Control F. Georgia. Shut up. Show. Transcript. Georgia. Okay, this is the video we just watched.
The hope is.
Shut up. Okay, what about this? 62, holy shit.
Trump about allegations in Georgia.
We took a hard look at this.
Shut up.
In Fulton County, Georgia, about how all of the lies about the election impact
elections in Georgia.
Does Rosen actually go before this committee and testify? It might just be the depositions on tape, but that's still fine. If I can have saying it on tape, that's good enough for me.
So the state of Georgia is where we will turn our attention to next. I want to emphasize that our investigation into these issues is still ongoing. As I stated in our last hearing, welcome the first Secretary of State. As a self-described conservative Republican, was your
the accuracy of the vote.
Tell us, what was your impression of how Election Day had proceeded in Georgia?
On Election Day in November,
No one cares. 22.
Trump appeared in Georgia, including Rudy Giuliani, and launched a new conspiracy theory that would take on a life of its own and threaten multi-cemented Georgia.
You don't put legitimate votes under a table.
Okay, watch this. 31. Phone call, we'll do that.
Andrea Shea Moss. Ms. Moss worked in a I want to ask you,
Ooh.
Prosecutor, they are engaged in surreptitious illegal activity again.
Oh, we already watched this one.
In a call with the Georgia Secretary of State.
I felt horrible.
My God.
Went in.
No one cares. XQC clip.
No way, that guy? I mean, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. That's what I heard! I swear that's what I heard!
Okay.
Outcome of the election in multiple states, including the state of Georgia. That it's investigated, consider it very familiar.
Okay. This is the Clark stuff.
In swing states, of course, he wanted to talk a great deal about Georgia. The State Farm Arena video, which he believed, for various reasons, was, as he said, fraud staring you right in the face.
Were any of the allegations he brought up found credible? Did you find any of them credible?
No.
So during this conversation, did you take handwritten notes directly quoting the president?
I did, and to make it clear, Attorney General Rosen called me on my government cell phone and said,
We heard the clip, just so you know. Wait, we heard Rosen say this? Yeah, in a deposition somewhere or something, right? I think it's a video recorded somewhere.
Been long that day with
Georgia. Oops.
been long that day with Mike Pence.
Jesus, what's going on outside?
To this.
Okay, don't.
Get flour.
Oh, I think this is getting into the. He was talking about the XQC clip. Oh. Oh, okay. Okay. You could hear it? Oh, yeah, I opened up my monitor. Fuck, this is all on the day of. Fuck!
Before the break, I think you all heard Mr. Barr and Mr. Donahue talk about, and if so, did he find
Okay, well, fuck it. I'll just pull it from the deposition then. Wherever the fuck that is. 105. Oh no, wait, it's here. When did this meeting happen?
Yo,
Hi?
you should unban me.
Who is here?
It's Jacob.
Oh, listen, talk to CyberVegan. I don't mess with any of that stuff, okay? You guys are all on your own.
No, CyberVegan's a JSOC cuck, and JSOC's an Marabou Canadian groiper fat fuck, and Amumu's a sex pest.
That sounds like stuff you guys need to work out between yourselves.
Ugh, okay.
Holy shit. Those guys are up to no good. Give me a date. What was the date for this stupid fucking meeting? The next day. So the 14th was the day that A.J. Barr resigned, and I was asked, it's the next day. Well, two things. One is at some point, probably the next day, let's go to a meeting at the White House. I'll be happy to get into it. We're telling him that it's by we, I mean Richard and myself. That's not what we were saying. So December 15th then? Oh, wait. It says here, December 15th. Oh, that's good. Well, we came to the news. Okay, cool. All right, listen now. All right. December 15th. Rosen's deposition pages. Suitcase 30 to 31. Why hasn't there been a ceasefire in Gaza yet? I think the Hamas needs a little bit more time to kill the rest of the hostages, and then they can finally do it. Pages.
Okay, so we got your application and everything seems Okay, so we got your application and everything seems great. Everything is great.
Yeah.
But one thing
Haven't we watched this
seems
before?
like you forgot to fill out the race.
Pretty sure we
You
did,
didn't fill
right?
that part
I'm
out.
sorry. That must have slipped my mind. Yeah,
Oh.
I must have forgot to fill that out. My apologies.
Oh yeah, I see.
Good job.
But what's your race? Just so I can get that last part for the.
You know, now that I'm thinking about it, what does it matter, right? Like, it's kind of outdated on applications, isn't it? Like, what's the point for it? You know, if it don't pertain to the job, I don't really see why it matters.
Oh, nice. It auto mutes it when I tab out. Nice.
Like, everybody's the same, right?
Yeah. But okay, all right. Yeah, I was about to just watch some TV, watch some sports. You watch any sports?
Yeah, I like a few sports.
Oh yeah, what sports? What sports do you like?
Football, hockey, you know, baseball.
Nice. Yeah, I was about to make some dinner. What about you? What you had for dinner?
Yeah, I actually had some spaghetti made.
How long was it made? A few days, a week, couple weeks. Huh?
I actually made it today.
Convenient. Okay. You have a favorite music genre?
You know, I like a few genres. Classical, jazz, hip-hop, pop, rock.
Let's signal in on the hip-hop. Who do you think is the best rapper of all time? Who's the best? Come on, let's hear it, man.
I have to say Eminem.
Oh, really? You sure you don't want to choose, Biggie or Tupac? What about them?
Nope, has to be Eminem. I just think he's best rapper overall.
Okay, well, I guess I'm not gonna use up any more of your time. You have a good day.
Okay, you too. Listen, I can explain.
Here's gonna be a no for us. I'm sorry.
True. Cyber, what?
Well, that's worrying. I go to servers and one of the top ones is 1 out of 4. And it says, kids, all caps group, mic please. Just...
What the fuck, dude?
Hold on.
Hello? Hello?
Oh shit. That's an actual kid.
Alright. well over 200. At least 18,000 that's on tape. We had them
January
counted
2nd, I think, this
very painstakingly. 18,000 voters having to do with Ruby Freeman. She's a vote scammer, a professional vote scammer and hustler. Ruby Freeman. That was the tape that's been shown all over the world that makes everybody look bad. You, me, and everybody else. Where they got number one, they said very clearly, and it's been reported that they said there was a major water main break. Everybody fled the area, and then they came back. Ruby Freeman, her daughter, and a few people. There were no Republican poll watchers. Actually, there were no Democrat poll watchers. I guess they were them. But there were no Democrats either, and there was no law enforcement. Early in the morning, they went to the table with the black robe, the black shield, and they pulled out the votes. Those votes were put there a number of hours before the table was put there. I think it was, Brad, you would know, it was probably 8 hours or 7 hours before, and then it was stuffed with votes. They weren't in an official voter box. They were in what looked to be suitcases.
He hasn't even seen the tape. They didn't look like suitcases at all.
Trunks, suitcases,
Sorry.
But they weren't.
It's like a full month after the original claim, too. This is January 2nd. It's so crazy, dude.
In voter boxes. The minimum number it could be, because we watched it, and they watched it certified in slow motion, instant replay, if you can believe it. But they had slow motion, and it was magnified many times over.
Does he bring her up again? He does it twice in this call?
Even the phony ballots we're so far ahead of these numbers. Even the phony ballots of Ruby Freeman, known scammer. You know the internet. You know what was trending on the internet? Where's Ruby? Because they thought she'd be in jail. Where's Ruby? It's crazy. It's crazy. That was the minimum number is 18,000 for Ruby, but they think it's probably about 56,000. But the minimum number is 18,000 on the Ruby Freeman night, where she.
Imagine how low your IQ has to be, right? We're in like the 70 to 80 range, that you think a single vote counter could flip 56,000 votes, right? 56,000 votes. I just got done watching the video. We talked about that Jesse and Fire Guy. How do you manage to stay so calm for so long when talking to people? I just kind of give up hope on humanity.
Continued to work, but they couldn't do even that, because that's illegal, because they had no Republican poll watchers. And remember, her reputation is devastating. She's known all over the. And remember,
This is so bad. Her reputation is ruined because of you.
Reputation is devastating. She's known all over the internet, Brett. She's known all over. I'm telling you, where's Ruby was one of the hot items on the Ruby. They knew her. Where's Ruby? So, Brad, you know, there can be no justification for that. And I give everybody the benefit of the doubt. But that was.
Yeah, I sure do. And he does it again? How many times did he bring up this one fucking call?
Because they're going to see what happened. And they're going to see what happened. I mean, I'll take on anybody you want with regard to Ruby Freeman and her lovely daughter. A very lovely young lady, I'm sure. But Ruby Freeman, I will take Freeman. I will take on anybody you want. And the minimum, there were 18,000 ballots, but they used them 3 times. So that's, a lot of votes. And that one of them, and they were all divided, by the way. That's the other thing we didn't say. You know, Ruby Freeman, one thing I forgot to say, which was the most important. Do you know that every single ballot she did went to Biden? You know that, right? Do you know that, by the way, Brett?
How would you even know that?
Every single ballot that she did through the machine
They recounted right? You know they've already done multiple recounts at this point, right? Like, they've already done multiple recounts. How did they sneak all these by?
Early in the morning, went to Biden. Did you know that, Ryan?
That's not accurate, Mr. President.
Huh. What is accurate?
The numbers that we are showing are accurate.
No, about Ruby Freeman, about early in the morning, Ryan, when the woman took when the whole gang took the stuff out of from under the table, right? Do you know?
The claim wasn't even early in the... He doesn't even know his own fucking lies. What didn't happen early in the morning? The claim was that it happened late at night.
Do you know who those ballots... Do you know who they were made after? Do you know who they were voting for?
No, not specifically.
Did you ever check?
We did what I described to you earlier.
No. Did you ever check the ballots that were scanned by Ruby Freeman, a known political operative balloteer? Did you ever check who those votes were for?
We looked into that situation that you described.
No, they were 100% for Biden. 100%.
Like, what's your evidence for this? How could you ever know this? How could you possibly know this?
There wasn't a Trump vote in the
what would you even cite for this? Like, how could you possibly know what every vote was?
Group. Why don't you want to find this, Ryan? What's wrong with you? I heard your lawyer is very difficult, actually, but I'm sure you're a good lawyer. Well, they don't even assign us a judge. But why wouldn't you, hey, Brad, why wouldn't you want to check out Ruby Freeman? And why wouldn't you want to say, hey, if in fact President Trump is right about that, then he wins the state of Georgia. Just that one incident alone, without going through hundreds of thousands of drop ballots. You just say, you stick by, I've been watching you for, you don't care about anything. Your numbers are right. But your numbers aren't right. They're really wrong. And
how would you know that? Well, who are you to even know that? How could you These statements are all so... I'm sorry. This whole call is so stupid. What are you? You're nobody. You're the president. How would you know what the state of Georgia's vote totals are? You have no idea. How would you ever even know this? Like...
I'm really wrong, Brad. And I know this phone call is going nowhere other than ultimately, look, ultimately, I win. Okay?
I win.
Because
Mr. Secretary,
you guys are so wrong. And you treated the population of Georgia so badly. Between you and your governor, who was down at 21, he was down 21 points. And like a schmuck, I endorsed him and he got...
Like a schmuck, I endorsed him. Shouldn't have done that. Fucking Kemp. God damn it, Kemp. Do we get all the lies in this? Because I think he does does he do the Pennsylvania one here? Trump and friends repeating the lie. Call with Raffensperger. Yeah, but he does it here. And then the Dominion voting machines. He does the Dominion one as well, right? I think he does that in this call too. Oh my God, how many times?
That they are shredding ballots and removing equipment. They're changing the equipment on the Dominion machines, and that's not legal. And they supposedly shredded. I think they said 300.
No shot.
Primarily, I believe if you ask the ballot process, I don't believe that you're really questioning the Dominion machines, because we did a hand retally, a 100% retally of all the ballots, and compared that to what the machine said, and it came up with virtually the same result. And we did the recount, we got virtually the same result. So I guess we could probably take that off the table. I don't think there's an issue about that. I think what you're...
Brad, not that there's not an issue, but because we have a big issue with Dominion and other states, and perhaps in yours, but we haven't felt we needed to go there. And just to, maybe put a little different spin on what Mark is saying, Mark Meadows, yeah, we'd like to go further, but we don't really need to. We have all the votes we need. We won the state. If you took...
Is it worth looking at how Trump comes up with where he learns from these conspiracies? Yes, that's why I have the origination of every lie. This lie started on December 3rd with Giuliani. This was his lie. Keep in mind, all these lies originate from people outside the White House, always.
These are the most minimal numbers, the numbers that I gave you. Those are numbers that are certified. Well, Brad, not that there's not an issue, but because we have a big issue with Dominion and other states, and perhaps in yours, but we haven't felt we needed to go there. And just to maybe put a little different spin on what Mark is saying, Mark Meadows, yeah, we'd like to go further, but we don't really need to. We have all the votes we need. You know, we won the state. If you took, these are the most minimal numbers, the numbers that I gave you. Those are numbers that are certified, your absentee ballots sent to vacant addresses, your out-of-state voters, 4,925. You know, when you add them up, it's many times the 11,779 number. So we could go through, we have not gone through your Dominion, so we can't give them blessing. I mean, in other states, we think we found tremendous corruption with Dominion machines, but we'll have to see. But we only lost the state by that number, 11,000 votes at 779. So with that being said, with just what we have, their ballots, you know, with just what we have, we're giving you minimal numbers. We're doing the most conservative numbers possible. We're many times above the margin. 100%. And so we don't really have to, Mark. I don't think we have to go through because what's the difference between winning the election by two votes and winning it by 500,000 votes? I think we probably did win it by 500,000. You know, one of the things that happened, Brad, is we have other people coming in now from Alabama and from South Carolina and from other states, and they're saying it's impossible for you to have lost Georgia. We won. You know, in Alabama we set a record, got the highest vote ever. In Georgia we set a record.
In Alabama they're saying you couldn't have lost Georgia. Okay.
Record with a massive amount of votes, and they say it's not possible to have lost Georgia. And I can tell you by our rallies. I can tell you by the rally I'm having on Monday night, the place they already have lines of people standing out front waiting. It's just not possible to have lost Georgia. It's not possible. When I heard it was close, I said there's no way. But they dropped a lot of votes in there late at night. You know that, Brett. And that's what we are working on very, very stringently. But regardless of those votes, with all of it being said, we lost by essentially 11,000 votes. And we have many more votes already calculated and certified to. So I just don't know, you know, Mark, I don't know what's the purpose. I won't give Dominion a pass because we found too many bad things. But we don't need Dominion or anything else. We and certified to. So I just don't know, you know, Mark, I don't know what's the purpose. I won't give Dominion a pass because we found too many bad things, but we don't need Dominion or anything else. We have won this election in Georgia based on all of this. And there's nothing wrong with saying that, Brad. You know, I mean, having a correct, the people of Georgia are angry. And these numbers are going to be repeated on Monday night, along with others that we're going to have by that time, which are much more substantial even. And the people of Georgia are angry. The people of the country are angry. And there's nothing wrong with saying that, you know, that you've recalculated because the 2,236 and absentee ballots, I mean, they're all exact numbers that we need.
But I guess the challenge that you have is the data you have is wrong. We talked to the
more votes than we need.
Well, Mr. President, the challenge that you have is the data you have is wrong. We talked to the congressmen, and they were surprised. But I guess there's a person named Mr. Raynard that came to these meetings and presented data. And he said that there was dead people, I believe it was upward of 5,000. The actual number were two people that were dead that voted. And so that's wrong. That was two.
Well, Cleta, how do you respond to that? And you tell me.
Well, I would say, Mr. Secretary, one of the things that we have requested, and what we said was, and if you look at if you read our petition, it said that we took the names and birth years, and you know, we had certain information available to us. We have asked from your office for records that only you have. And so we said there's a universe of people who have the same name and same birth year and died. But we don't have the records that you have. And one of the things that we have been suggesting, formally and informally, for weeks now, is for you to make available to us the records that would be necessary to confirm.
But Cleta, even before you do that, and not even including that, that's why I hardly even included that number, although in one state we have a tremendous amount of dead people, so I don't know. I'm sure we do in Georgia too. But is that we're so far ahead. We're so far ahead of these numbers. Even the phony ballots of Ruby Freeman, known scammer. You know the internet. You know what was trending on the internet? Where's Ruby?
Dominion.
Now, do you think it's possible that they shredded ballots in Fulton County? Because that's what the rumor is. And also that Dominion took out machines. That Dominion is really moving fast to get rid of their machinery. Do you know anything about that? Because that's illegal.
Ryan, Germany. No, Dominion has not moved any machinery out of Fulton County.
But if they moved, have they moved the inner parts of the machines and replaced them with other parts?
No.
You sure, Ryan?
I'm sure, Mr. President.
What about the ballots? The shredding of the ballots? Have they been shredding ballots?
No, the only investigation that we have into that, they have not been shredding any ballots.
Are you sure about that? Actually, now that you mention it, I fucking lied. I'm not sure about that. I don't know.
There was an issue in Cobb County where they were doing normal, office shredding, getting rid of old stuff, and we investigated that.
Let's see, and then this here, what's this?
Yeah, I've been very involved in it. I don't know. And that's just one of 25 categories. And it doesn't even, and as the President said, we haven't even gotten into the Dominion issue. That's not part of our case. It's not part of, we didn't feel as though we had any way to be able to develop.
No, we do have a way, but I don't want to get into it. Because we found a way in other states, later, excuse me, but we don't need it because we're only down 11,000 votes, so we don't even need it.
Right.
I personally think they're corrupt as hell, but we don't need that because all we have to do, Cleta, is find 11,000 plus votes.
Shut up, Cleta.
So we don't need that. I'm not looking to shake up the whole world. We won Georgia easily. We won it by hundreds of thousands of votes, but if you go by basic, simple numbers, we won it easily. So we're not giving Dominion a pass on the record.
No, right, exactly.
But we just don't, we don't need Dominion because we have so many other votes that we don't need to prove it any more than we already have.
Mr. President, this is Kurt Hilbert, if I might get here for a moment. Ryan, I would like to suggest that just 4 categories that have already been mentioned by the President that have actually hard numbers of 24,149 votes that were counted illegally. That in and of itself is sufficient to change the result or place the outcome in doubt. We would like to just sit down with your office, and we can do it to purposes of compromise and settlement just like this phone call, just to deal with that limited category of votes. And if you are able to establish that our numbers are not accurate, then fine. However, we believe that they are accurate. We've had now 3 to 4 separate experts look at these numbers. These numbers are based upon the USPS.
And certified accountants looked at them.
Correct. And this is just based on USPS data and your own Secretary of State data. So that's what we would entreat and ask you to do, to sit down with us in a compromise and settlement proceeding and actually go through the registered voter IDs and registrations. And if you can convince us that that 24,149 is inaccurate, then fine. But we tend to believe that that is, obviously more than 11,779. That's sufficient to change the result entirely in and of itself. So what would you say to that, Mr. German?
Kurt, I'm happy to. I'll get with our lawyers and we'll set that up. That number is not accurate, and I think we can show you, for all the ones we've looked at, why it's not. And so that would be helpful. I'm happy to get with our lawyers and set that up with you guys.
Well, let me ask you, Kurt. Kurt, you think that is an accurate number? That was based on the information given to you by the Secretary of State's Department, right?
That is correct. That information is the minimum, most conservative data based upon USPS data and the Secretary of State's office data that has been made publicly available. We do not have the internal numbers from the Secretary of State.
I love that little lie there, because I was just about to say, no, you didn't get that data. You didn't get data from the Secretary of State's Department. Look at what he just did there. That was so cute. Or he's retarded.
Accurate number. That was based on the information given to you by the Secretary of State's Department, right?
That was based on information given to you by the Secretary of State's Department. Then the guy says, correct.
That is correct. That information is the minimum, most conservative data based upon USPS data and the Secretary of State's office data that has been made publicly available. We do not.
That's based on what the Secretary of State has published on like a State of Georgia website. There is no data being made available to you. What are you talking about?
I have the internal numbers from the Secretary.
They don't have the internal numbers. Oh, so you don't. Why did you say yes? Why did you agree with them, you simp fuck?
Based upon USPS data and the Secretary of State's office data that has been made publicly available. We do not have the internal numbers from the Secretary of State, yet we have asked for it 6 times. I've sent a letter over to Mr. Nolowitz several times requesting this information, and it's been rebuffed every single time. So it stands to reason that if the information is not forthcoming, there's something to hide. That's the problem.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's not the case. There are things that you guys are entitled to get, and there are things that under law we are not allowed to get out.
Well, you have to. Well, under law, you're not allowed to give faulty election results, okay? You're not allowed to do that, and that's what you've done. This is a faulty election result. And honestly, this should go very fast. You should meet tomorrow, because you have a big election coming up, and because of what you've done to the president, the people of Georgia know that this was a scam, and because of what you've done to the president, a lot of people aren't going out to vote. And a lot of Republicans are going to vote negative because they hate what you did to the president, okay? They hate it. And they're going to vote. And if you would be respected, really respected, if this thing could be straightened out before the election. You have a big election coming up on Tuesday. And therefore,
like, you have to figure this out now because you're going to lose your election. Otherwise, that's so funny. Yeah. Okay. Okay. We got the call for these 2 things. Why the fuck does it fuck your spacing up sometimes like this? Okay. Being informed of the false claim. Okay, 1, 2. Okay, Raffensperger. You're talking about the State Farm video. Okay, did I get that in here? I don't think I did. Call January 2nd. Nope, not this. Sorry. Fuck. I structured this stupidly. Okay. Okay. What the fuck is that noise?
times. Why not 5 times, right? But, yeah, go ahead.
You're talking about the State Farm video, and I think it's extremely unfortunate that Rudy Giuliani or his people, they sliced and diced that video and took it out of context. So the next day we brought in WSB TV and we let them see the full run of tape. And what you'll see, the events that transpired are nowhere near what was projected by,
But where were the poll watchers, Brad? There were no poll watchers there. There were no.
What you're telling us. You tell us that you've had an investigation of the State Farm Arena. I don't have any report. I've never seen a report of investigation.
Why
I don't
would
know
you?
what that is.
Why would you?
I've been pretty involved in this. I don't know. And that's just one of like 25 categories. And it doesn't even, and as the
Okay, January 3rd, Trump rally. I believe it was a January 3rd Trump rally about Raffensperger. Trump does a rally where he lies about that call, and then this is why Raffensperger leaks the call. Do we remember? Do we have a link to this rally? YouTube. If hostile countries with access to our stolen identification re-register falsely, could applications like this be more wide-scale yet go undetected? I guess it's possible. I don't think anybody said voter fraud is impossible. There's just no evidence of it happening. Fuck. Trump. Before 2022? No, fuck. Trump does a rally where he's talking about how Raffensperger wasn't able to answer any of the questions. Do I have this in my notes somewhere? Oh, fuck. January 3rd, 2021, Trump rally. YouTube. At the Save America rally. No. Damn, why is it so hard to find these exact fucking rallies? It was a tweet, not a rally? Was it just a tweet? He didn't say this at a rally? I thought I heard him say this. Maybe I'm lying to myself.
Remix your
snack with new Oikos Remix.
Will do.
The President of the United States and compliments the
There's not, Gina,
I feel like I've heard Trump say this, not just tweet it. Which quote? This one about Donald Trump initially lies about the call he had with Raffensperger. This is why the audio got leaked. Trump lies here and he says that he wasn't able to answer any questions about it. Maybe it was. Was it his ellipse speech? Did he do this at the ellipse?
Over 200.
Trump left Georgia.
In this little northwest town of Rome, Georgia. We know there's voter fraud in Georgia. Do you know yesterday that suitcases were sold out across the state of Georgia? And look,
Can somebody tell me real quick, what does she mean by that? Or what is the conspiracy here? Is it suitcases? Because it's January 6th, so it's not for more ballots. Is it for like illegal immigrants? Or is it the suitcases they bought to hide the ballots? Or
so they can say that there's no voter fraud, but see, we know that there is. We know that in Pennsylvania, 200,000 ballots, more than 200,000 ballots were returned that works out. We know there's voter fraud in Georgia. Do you know yesterday that
fuck, what's the name of this lady's name? The name of this lady's name. She's the founder lady, right? Amy Kramer, that's right.
It was an allegation Trump
This is when they said that they debunked it the next day, right? I think
personally amplified.
There's even security camera footage from Georgia that shows officials telling poll watchers to leave the room before pulling suitcases of ballots out from under the tables and continuing to count for hours. They kept on recycling these things.
The footage appears to show poll workers pulling ballots.
Okay, this is super delayed though. I don't know why I have this under repeating it.
suitcases were sold out across the state of Georgia? And look what happened last night. Just because the media doesn't tell you what's going on doesn't make it not true, right? One of President Trump's legacies is his exposure to the fake news media. But that doesn't just mean wrong and inaccurate information. It's also the omission of information, right? But we're smarter than them. We've connected in other ways. We connected via social media. And now big tech is trying to silence us. Facebook has shut us down. We're the group that started the Stop the Steal Facebook group the day after the election. And within 22 hours, it had over 365,000 members. And when they shut it down, 1.2.
And clearly, the Second Amendment. I am so fired up at what happened in Georgia and what happened across this country. I've been thinking a lot. Yeah. I'm ready to go home. I'm ready to go home to the party of Lincoln.
ballots. Democrats attempted the most brazen and outrageous election theft, and there's never been anything like this. It's a pure theft in American history. Everybody knows it. That election, our election, was over at 10 o'clock in the evening. We're leading Pennsylvania, Michigan, Georgia by hundreds of thousands of votes. And then late in the evening or early in the morning, boom, these explosions of bullshit. And all of a sudden it started to happen. Don't forget when Romney got beat. Romney, did you see it? I wonder if he enjoyed his flight in last night. But when Romney got beaten, he stands up like, you're more typical. Well, I'd like to congratulate the victor. The victor. Who is the victor, Mitt? I'd like to congratulate. They don't go and look at the facts. No, I don't know. He got slaughtered probably. Maybe it was okay. Maybe that's what happened. But we look at these things alone wins us the state. Great state. We love the state. We won the state. In Georgia, your Secretary of State, who I can't believe this guy's a Republican. He loves recording telephone conversations. That was I thought it was a great conversation personally. So did a lot of people love that conversation because it says what's going on. These people are crooked. They're 100%, in my opinion, one of the most corrupt between your governor and your Secretary of State. And now you have it again last night. Just take a look at what happened. What a mess. And the Democrat Party operatives entered into an illegal and unconstitutional settlement agreement that drastically weakened signature verification and other election. Oh, that sounds fair. That was at 1:34 a.m. The Georgia Secretary of State and pathetic governor of Georgia have reached, although he says I'm a great president. I sort of maybe have to change. He said the other day, yes, I disagree with President, but he's been a great president. Oh, thank you very much. Because of him and others. Brian Kemp, vote him the hell out of office, please.
Vote him the hell out of office. Does he not do the Ruby Freeman stuff at all on J6? Oh, had he dropped it by this point? Does he say 18,000?
Georgia prison. People who are not allowed to vote. More than 4,500 illegal ballots were cast by individuals who do not appear on the state's own voter rolls. Over 18,000 illegal ballots were cast by individuals who registered to vote using an address listed as vacant, according to the Postal Service. At least 88,000 ballots in Georgia were cast by people whose registrations were illegally backdated. 66,000 votes. Each one of these is far more than we need. 66,000 votes in Georgia were cast by individuals under the legal voting age. And at least 15,000 ballots were cast by individuals who moved out of the state prior to November 3rd election. They say they moved right back. They moved right back. Oh, they moved out, they moved right back. Okay. They miss Georgia that much. I do. I love Georgia. But it's a corrupt system. Despite all of this, the margin in Georgia is only 11,779 votes. Each and every one of these issues is enough to give us a victory in Georgia. A big, beautiful victory. Make no mistake, this election was stolen from you, from me, and from the country. And not a single swing state has conducted a comprehensive audit to remove the illegal ballots.
There's more to the story.
Wait, what?
Yeah, I saw 4 suitcases come out from underneath the table.
But those are not suitcases.
The video shows is...
Wait, what? We don't need this. Thank you, though. Okay. What are all the claims that he made about Georgia? Let me listen to this again.
In Georgia, your Secretary of State, who I can't believe this guy's a Republican. He loves recording telephone conversations. That was I thought it was a great conversation personally. So did a lot of people love that conversation because it says what's going on. These people are crooked. They're 100%, in my opinion, one of the most corrupt between your governor and your Secretary of State. And now you have it again last night. Just take a look at what happened. What a mess. And the Democrat Party operatives entered into an illegal and unconstitutional settlement agreement that drastically weakened signature verification and other election security procedures. Stacey Abrams, she took them to lunch. And I beat her 2 years ago with a bad candidate, Brian Kemp. But the Democrats took the Republicans to lunch because the Secretary of State had no clue what the hell was happening. Unless he did have a clue. That's interesting. Maybe he was with the other side. But we've been trying to get verifications of signatures in Fulton County. They won't let us do it. The only reason they won't is because we'll find things in the hundreds of thousands. Why wouldn't they let us verify signatures in Fulton County, which is known for being very corrupt? They won't do it. They go to some other county where you would live. I said, that's not the problem. The problem is Fulton County, home of Stacey Abrams. She did a good job. I congratulate her, but it was done in such a way that we can't let this stuff happen. We won't have a country if it happens. As a result, Georgia's absentee ballot rejection rate was more than 10 times lower than previous levels because the criteria was so off. 48 counties in Georgia with thousands and thousands of votes rejected 0 ballots. There wasn't 1 ballot. In other words, in a year in which more mail-in ballots were sent than ever before and more people were voting by mail for the first time, the rejection rate was drastically lower than it had ever been before. The only way this can be explained is if tens of thousands of illegitimate votes were added to the tally. That's the only way you could explain it. By the way, you're talking about tens of thousands. If Georgia had merely rejected the same number of unlawful ballots as in other years, there should have been approximately 45,000 ballots rejected, far more than what we needed to win, just over 11,000. They should find those votes. They should absolutely find that. Just over 11,000 votes, that's all we need. They defrauded us out of a win in Georgia, and we're not going to forget it. There's only one reason the Democrats could possibly want to eliminate signature matching, oppose voter ID, and stop citizenship confirmation. Are you a citizenship? You're not allowed to ask that question. Because they want to steal the election. The radical left knows exactly what they're doing. They're ruthless, and it's time that somebody did something about it. And Mike Pence, I hope you're going to stand up for the good of our Constitution and for the good of our country. And if you're not, I'm going to be very disappointed in you. I will tell you right now. I'm not hearing good stories. In Fulton County, Republican poll watchers were ejected, in some cases physically, from the room under the false pretense of a pipe burst. Water main burst, everybody leave, which we now know is a total lie. Then election officials pull boxes, Democrats, and suitcases.
Ah, yes. Okay. Ballot. The boxes. The boxes.
Everybody leave, which we now know is a total lie. Then election officials pull boxes, Democrats, and suitcases of ballots out from under a table. You all saw it on television. Totally fraudulent. And illegally scanned them for nearly 2 hours, totally unsupervised. Tens of thousands of votes. This act coincided with a mysterious vote dump of up to 100,000 votes for Joe Biden. Almost none for Trump. Oh, that sounds fair. That was at 1:34 a.m. The Georgia Secretary of State and pathetic governor of Georgia average, although he says I'm a great president. You know, I sort of maybe have to change. He said the other day, yes, I disagree with President, but he's been a great president. Oh, good. Thank you very much. Because of him and others. Brian Kemp, put him the hell out of office, please. Well, his rates are so low. You know, his approval rating now, I think it just reached a record low. They rejected 5 separate appeals for an independent and comprehensive audit of signatures in Fulton County. Even without an audit, the number of fraudulent ballots that we've identified across the state is staggering. Over 10,300 ballots in Georgia.
Barr. Then he raised the big vote dump, as he called it in Detroit. This is Detroit. Donahue. Okay, not this. Donahue on the 3rd. That's the Pennsylvania thing. Do we have Donahue talking about Pennsylvania? Wait, I don't have that audio anywhere. Wait, undetermined state of Pennsylvania. There's this. Oh, then a CNN. Oh, wait, no, this would be people near him. Oh, we do have Donahue here. Okay, thank you. Okay. When Republican senators were objecting to the certification of the results, what was their part of this plan? Was it only for show because they didn't have the numbers? The goal was that they could also delay. They're all as complicit as anybody else. It was all bullshit. Everybody involved, that was all bullshit. Let's see, with Raffensperger, okay, not the same thing. Risk less to 5,000, not the same thing. Okay, don't care about this. Dominion. Michigan County. Michigan. Okay. Are there any other examples of Trump or anybody in Trump's campaign repeating the Georgia lie? Or mysterious ballot boxes or anything about that? Trump, Georgia, table ballot boxes. Before 2022. This is from 2023. And people try to argue that he did J6 because he really thought the Dems were doing election fraud. Instead of trying to convince people he knowingly lied about election fraud, did you try to say that it would just make him literally delusional? I think narcissistic people can be psychotic from time to time. He probably actually believes it's possible to lose. That's a claim you could move to. I think that's a weaker claim, though, and I think that the lying one is is defendable. I think it's easier to do the lying one. The problem is that if you move to the delusional one, they'll go, well, anybody would be delusional if you were witch hunted by the mainstream media for that long, and then you get into retard territory.
At about 8 o'clock in the morning, and we're going to roll this back and show it to you.
Let's see, December 3rd, Trump literally posts this on his fucking YouTube channel.
Just said they were older women.
Imagine watching a video of someone being shot and then saying, where's the evidence? The left is insane. True.
The sweetest dreams are the ones that don't get interrupted. The Casper Snow Max with snow technology. The only mattress
December 5th,
engineered to
2020
eliminate
rally.
excess
December
heat
5th, 2020
all night.
rally.
So you can skip
Trump,
the night sweats
December
and
5th,
just stay
2020
dreaming.
rally.
I don't run to see if people are walking in with suitcases and.
Hello, Georgia.
I'm running, win, and then do a good job as president. That's all. I don't run the elections. I don't run to see if people are walking in with suitcases and putting them under a table with a black robe around it. I don't do that. That's up to your government here. And for whatever reason, your Secretary of State and your governor are afraid of Stacey Abrams. They're afraid of her. So we know the Democrats are planning to cheat, and we can't.
Okay, based.
At about 8 o'clock in the morning, and we're going to roll this back and show it to you.
Wow, Vadofo. Thanks, buddy. Jeez, this was debunked literally the same day. Here's the full rally. I don't need the full rally. Doesn't ever any time Trump or anybody near Trump repeated this lie.
Okay, so as you can see in the upper...
December 10th? Oh, he does it again. Rudy Giuliani video.
Georgia state legislators a week.
Tape earlier in the day of these.
Disturbing.
Hey, I know you're in the middle of doing something serious.
Yeah, what's up?
I just came to say I hate you. You know why?
I love you, okay? I love you so much. Good luck. Keep your family safe, okay? You need to protect your family. That's important, okay? I care about you.
I hate you.
In the upper left-hand corner of the screen, this is about 11:01 p.m. on November 3rd. This is election night in Fulton County, the State Farm Arena. What you see toward the back are the tables that contain the scanners for the absentee ballots. You see at least 5 individuals back here. This is after the press has gone, the Republican observers are gone. Black table.
Hour-long phone call. Okay. This was December 4th as well. Okay. Gabriel Sterling was the something for the Georgia Secretary of State. What was his role again exactly? And this is on December 4th as well. Gabriel Sterling. Chief COO of the Office of the Georgia Secretary of State. Okay. What's your assessment on whether / when observers were back on the counting floor? They weren't told to leave, but how much time passed between when counters returned versus when poll watchers returned? I think it was like 30 minutes after. I think they started counting at 10:30 and the observers were back by 11. But also, again, if you, let's say that you think that like they rigged it while the let's say you think they rigged the count while the poll watchers were gone in those 30 minutes. All the recounts showed the exact same thing. So I mean, like. Did I click all these? December 4th. Widely shared. Who is this person? Nice, loser. Right Side Broadcasting, good one. USA Today, December 14th. Ooh, you motherfucker. Reporter covering all the 2024 campaign things plus Georgia plus the South. Who the fuck is this guy? Stephen Fowler. Atlanta, Georgia? Local media guy, I guess? This is December 4th. GTB, what's this? Georgia something something? Public broadcast? Justin Gray, investigative reporter for WSB-TV. What are you supposed to do? Like, one thing I notice in going through a lot of this stuff is like, what is the media doing wrong? Or what is the media supposed to do here? Oh, WSB-TV, actually, I already have this one. Like, there were so many debunkings of this, but I'm willing to bet that over 80% of Republicans probably still believe all the Georgia memes, the black box, the Ruby Freeman stuff. Like, what are you supposed to do? So probably this is the same thing, right? December 4th. This is factcheck.org. I think we already did this one. This is the same article, right? Yeah. Wait, November 3rd? What? Oh, this is the water leak. Got this.
At about 8 o'clock in the morning.
December 5th. Does this mean 1.6k likes? It got shared 1.6k times and only got 1.6k likes? Is it normal that you like and reblog or whatever the fuck on? Okay, this motherfucker.
Serious allegations of election irregularities all across the country tonight. A lot of news tonight. In Georgia, look at this new surveillance footage we'll be showing you. Mysterious suitcases, potentially filled, we believe, with ballots. Well, rolled out from under a table after partisan election observers are asked to leave the room. Meanwhile, in Nevada, we watched sworn depositions today. They have now chronicled 130,000 votes that they believe were cast. If you're going to vote or you challenge this big Supreme Court case in Wisconsin, They evidence.
Or Arizona, you saw those numbers come out yesterday.
Continued even after partisan.
Or Arizona, you saw those numbers come out yesterday.
I wonder if they mentioned this in the Dominion lawsuit, if they mentioned anything about Georgia.
This is probably the most fraudulent election that anyone's ever seen.
President, he has every right to be concerned as we're watching this evidence unfold now every day. In Georgia, a state hearing on election irregularities featured numerous, yes, real whistleblowers. One witness who claimed vote counting continued even after partisan observers were forced to leave the room. This is called evidence for those of you in the mob. Take a look.
According to the witnesses, the Republican
It's the same
observers,
bullshit
there's
video.
a lady who has blonde braids who comes out to announce we're going to stop counting.
Unreal, dude.
Everyone go home.
Imagine this is like your job. You don't have to do any, you're just reading a teleprompter? That's your job?
And in fact, we see that.
No research?
What happens is everyone clears out, including the Republican observers in the press.
I bet the brain room, I bet the Fox News fact checkers knew this was bullshit. I bet they did.
People stay behind and continue counting and tabulating well into the night from that point, which is going to be about 10:25 when they all clear out, or 10:30. And they will continue counting unobserved, unsupervised, not in public view as your statute requires, until about 1 in the morning.
All right, look closely at your screen. Now, witnesses testifying that they were eyewitnesses, backed up by that newly released surveillance footage. Shortly after observers, they were asked to leave the room. Several large, mysterious suitcases, they believe filled with ballots, were rolled out from under a table.
What do you mean believe were filled with ballots? They literally take them over and start counting them. They're obviously ballots. I mean, what do you mean believe? Have you watched any of this?
Watch for yourself.
We're going to roll this back and show it to you. There you go. So now they're going to start pulling these ballots out from under this table. This table, the black one, was placed there by the lady with the blonde braids at about 8:22 a.m. in the morning. So she put that table there. Upper right hand, you see the gentleman in red. So he just pulled one out. What are these ballots doing there, separate from all the other ballots? And why are they only counting them whenever the place...
What is this? Please don't give me an ad.
Now, as we told you earlier, down in Georgia,
It's really explosive because it puts to light of the fact there's no evidence. First of all, there are about 5,000 affidavits now, so there's plenty of evidence. We've presented over the last 4 days about 100 witnesses. And today, in addition to very many compelling witnesses showing about 100,000 or more illegal ballots in the state of Georgia, we presented 4 videotapes from 4 security cameras showing the Democrats throwing the Republicans out, claiming there was a water main break, which was a lie. Once the Republicans left, they took ballots out from under a table where they had it hidden. Looked like thousands and thousands of ballots.
All this plotting, and they just didn't get the damn security cameras. Darn.
Well, the Republicans weren't there all night, counted the ballots. That's on tape. I want you to watch it.
Watch it.
It proves what crooks they
It's
are,
on
what
the
thieves
screen.
they are. It proves it. It proves everything we've been saying and everything the president has been saying. See that? That happens to be on tape. That was going on in 6 other places. That was going on in Pennsylvania. It was going on in Pittsburgh. It was going on in Wisconsin. It was going on in Michigan, in Detroit, Michigan. It's going on in Phoenix, Arizona.
You know,
And it's
if
going
you look
on
at
big time in Atlanta, Georgia.
If you look
can't
at
argue with that, Sean.
Sorry. If you know, and it's funny, and I felt bad for you the day at the press conference, and a little "Just for Men" came down your cheek. I felt sorry for you, but I need some. By the way, I haven't tried it yet, but I probably need it. But you were telling everybody, and I kept putting Kaylee on and other people on, and they're holding up the affidavits. But the affidavits were real people under penalty of perjury. That you're a former prosecutor. In a court of law, what do we call that? Where I grew up, we call it evidence.
Yeah.
How about eyewitness testimony?
Right.
Today we put on about 6 or 7 eyewitnesses. They watched ballots being changed.
Why didn't they say anything at the time?
They watched ballots being forged. They watched the name Biden being written in. Last night we put on evidence that...
Biden being written in? Hold on. To be fair, I haven't voted in every state. What does that even mean? Are there states where you write in candidate, and then you write in a guy who's available to vote for? What is the...
They would put in the machine a Biden ballot 10 times and a Trump ballot 1 time.
Damn.
That's why there were missing ballots in Pennsylvania. Here, there are 96,000 ballots there's something okay with those.
Because...
And then not only that, we put...
a very important election that's coming up will determine whether or not
President Trump remains this influence, not several $100 million of it. And who controls in these two races? There of that claim from the president too. He has pushed, or does he use his
USA Today, December 7th. January 4th. These strategists know how to stay focused on research for long periods of time. Don't stream while you're doing. You should start by organizing your sources. That would have made this a lot easier. I should have done a better job at that. I will for my next research project. But I'm learning as I do these, okay? I've never done like formal research before, at this level at least. WAPO, December 7th. The Pinocchios. I remember the Pinocchios. Do they still use those, or? Georgia recounts. Can I find this press release? Hold on. So during a news conference at the state capitol. News conference at state capitol. Raffensperger. News conference before 2021 recount. This? No! YouTube. Please, God, YouTube. This?
Heavy lift. But we will work with the counties to get this done.
Bro, seriously? This is your volume?
Many of these workers will be working plenty of overtime. We have all worked hard to bring fair and accurate counts to assure that the will of the voter.
Are you fucking serious? Oh my fucking God.
Randolph. DeKalb County is done with the physical scanning. They're dealing with one thing in adjudication. Cobb County will very similar, but it will just be the race. The only recount request can be done in the 0.5% it be within the second place finisher or the third place finisher going to Omaha. Just make sure I understood this correctly. We were talking.
Georgia reaffirms. Can you find me? Can somebody find me like the YouTube clip where he just says this? I just want the speech of him saying that they finished the recount and they reaffirmed. I never trust people signing on the side anymore. True. Also, hold on one sec. Wow. Okay, somebody find it?
So we went to Park City.
and debt.
Georgia law vote.
He tried to do the
Running against.
The recount bit is here.
Despite supporters of President Donald Trump storming into the state capitol in
Sorry.
Atlanta earlier this week, demanding investigation on claims of election fraud, on Friday, officials reaffirmed that Joe Biden has won the state of Georgia, following the largest hand recount of ballots in American history.
The numbers reflect the verdict of the people, not a decision by the Secretary of State's office or of courts or of either campaigns.
Meanwhile, the Trump campaign continues to claim the election was plagued by fraudulent voting.
That could have been Mickey Mouse. That could have been a dead person.
A claim repeated by the president, who on Friday added another accusation that pharmaceutical companies delayed announcing COVID-19 vaccine findings until after the election, a claim the companies have denied.
We had Big Pharma against us. We had the media.
Okay.
So we went to Park City, had dinner on the court at Madison Square Garden, got right next to the pit at Race Week.
Experience the world as an insider, from exclusive lounges to immersive dining experiences, all with Chase Sapphire Reserve.
Moments ago, Georgia's Republican Secretary of State confirming that Joe Biden won that state.
I'm a passionate conservative, and as I've said before, I'm a proud Trump supporter. I was with him early in the 2016 election cycle, and he's governed the nation by the same conservative principles that I hold dear. Like other Republicans, I'm disappointed our candidate didn't win Georgia's electoral votes. Close elections sow distrust. People feel their side was cheated. We saw this from the Democrats in 2018, and we see this from Republicans today. Working as an engineer
New Aegon drop. 8 hours and 24 minutes. Yeah, I'm good, Chief. Jesus Christ.
And in this sense, I have the right to respond.
The Impact documentary.
Cultism and the hidden.
Bonestown. Jesus Christ. Jesus, this timestamp.
And crimes. But how can representatives of anti-cult organizations help in this situation? And crimes. But how can representatives of anti-cult organizations help in this situation?
Do you really think that's AI?
These cases should be handled by law enforcement agencies, since they bear the main responsibility for protecting citizens from such threats. In such cases, they must conduct the necessary investigation, collect evidence of illegal activity, and only after that should all perpetrators be prosecuted according to the law and the criminal organization be terminated. However, when it comes to anti-cultists, everything happens in reverse order. First, they make baseless.
Where did the very first thing about the Dominion voting machines come from? This is the only other lie we have to do. This fucks my tables up? Really? Okay. Okay, Chief. Let's see. Vote down. Pennsylvania mean. Do I have that up here? January 3rd. Yes, we do. Do we have Trump repeating it on January 6th? Yep, we do. Don't care. Don't care. Between mid-November and January 5th. Okay. It's from Powell? Can you show me the first time it's published? The CNN linking is fact-checking the press conference in November of 2020. Can you link me the press conference? Okay, this is 123.
A newly revealed transcript from the House of the entire White House. Donald Trump's former...
She never testifies, right? No, I don't think so. Okay. Deposition K. Deposition K. L. PD file. Haha, yeah, boy. Do you think that Harvey was lying about not knowing about the Dominion, seeing as he wrote a book with Sidney Powell? Oh, yeah, I saw that. I don't know. Who knows? The deposition was 322 pages. Holy shit. Control F, Dominion. I believe the arguments being made by Elliot Gazer and these other transparent. I'm saying something to the effect of, in the lead up to the election, the mail-in voting point I thought was very important. The campaign was pursuing mail-in litigation, much of it turned away as not being ripe, and that line of litigation on the backside was the same as the one I told him was inaccurate litigation. Just to be clear, when you say the backside, you mean the post-election litigation? Post-election, yeah. Prior to the election, I know that I wasn't very involved. I was more concerned with the COVID-19 stuff. I see. Miss Cheney, it looks like you turned on your camera. Did you have some follow-up there? Separate track, the Dominion issue in particular. Did you ever say to the president that you thought he was overstating the fact the election had been stolen or using that to no, that's my recollection. I don't recall ever. So maybe, again, I was not his legal advisor. I wasn't with him a whole lot during that 2-week period. Certainly when I was in Florida, I was from specifically one Dominion point. Okay. Did you come to the conclusion that some of the claims are being made by Mr. Giuliani, for example, were false? I did not have faith, let's say, in the Dominion theory. By way of example, that was one that in my mind I associate that track of advisors with that theory, and I had not. I had asked Elliot about it, and he said, there was this one instance of vote switching that had occurred, but by and large, don't dig into that theory. Yes, there was a vote tally that changed, that is a fact, but he waved me off of pursuing that line. Did you do anything to try and correct the record in terms of your public statements with respect to Dominion? Let me quickly pull something up. Can I just have 1 second if you don't mind? Yeah, I just want to find that specifically. So yes, privately I would tell Sean who? Hannity? The bulk of my appearances were on Sean's show, and I think I conveyed to him that the information I would bring was information that I believe was fact-checked and vetted. When asked on November 12th about Dominion, or it might have been software issues, I don't know the exact quote here, I changed to talk about, quote, the real argument, and said that the real argument we were making here is to encourage everyone to look at the complaints filed in Pennsylvania and Michigan. When asked on November 21st about Dominion, I referenced that there was a vote change, but I quickly pivoted. I said that the equal protection claim is a constitutional one. That's the winning argument at the moment. So when asked about it, you can see in my commentary here, I quickly moved to talking about the constitutional issues, same on November 6th, or December 6th. Anytime the president asked my opinion, I'd be clearing the arguments. I think in my earlier testimony, referenced waving him off the Dominion theory earlier in my testimony. Okay. Damn, this was how early? K-Lee Media. No, okay. November 12th and November 21st. Wait, actually, there should be video footage of this. We should be able to find this. So this is on a Fox News segment. Sean Hannity, this. 3 months ago. Before 2021. What do they have?
This story out of Wayne County, which of course is the county in which Detroit sits in Michigan. Donald Trump lost the election in Michigan, essentially in Detroit, because of the numbers there of people who voted against him.
So naturally,
lack of certification of the Wayne County ballots.
mass mail-out voting, live ammunition across the nation is what it was equivalent to. And it backfired. And Sean, I've just got to get to you with Michigan, which you mentioned there as you came to me. I held up these papers, these affidavits, 234 pages of sworn affidavits under penalty of perjury. These
by the way,
from one county.
What did CNN say about when you held them up on this program? Didn't they accuse you of holding up blank sheets?
That's right. They did about a 10-minute monologue saying these were blank. They're not blank. In fact, these pages of paper from one county were the reason that you had a county.
I don't look. This is the closest I ever get to working in an office. But if you've got 234 papers, do you not bind them?
Yeah.
Do you not staple them?
Loose.
You don't have the whole punches. Like, it seems to me like maybe they're not really using those papers for anything other than just a prop. I don't know.
They're overcompensating. I mean, to prove you have evidence, you don't need to bring stacks of papers of evidence. This isn't like a detective show that you watch on the CW at age 13. Like you can
60 pages right here. As you can see, there's writing on there. All of this is documented that what she's holding in her hand is actually a farce.
Right.
It's right here.
No, I mean, they're all about like, look at these papers. It's tangible evidence that we're correct. I mean, it could just be jibber jabber on there. It could be the lyrics to American Pie. Nobody knows.
Do you remember when Donald Trump tried to argue to the American public that he was going to divest from all his businesses, and they just had a bunch of loose leaf binders up there, and there was, again, a blank paper, but continue.
These pages of paper from one county were the reason that you had a county-level Wayne County canvasser say we cannot certify this election because of these witnesses. They're real people. And one reporter tweeted out, this is the first time in my 20-year history I've ever seen something like this. A county commission refused to certify. It's because for the first time, you have a president fighting for the forgotten men and women in Detroit, in Philadelphia, and Democrat cities across the nation.
Nobody in this country can have confidence in this. Now,
there you go. Well, it turned out that they did have confidence, probably within 12 hours, I think, of that moment. They reversed themselves and essentially negotiated a deal where it's like, you pretend like you're auditing stuff so that we don't look too embarrassed.
Okay. Fuck. I should be able to find appearances of her on Fox News. Like, it sounds like she's referencing things she said on Sean Hannity's program.
Let me ask you about some of Vice President. Let me ask you about
Fox
some
News.
of
It's so unhinged.
Some of Joe
September
Biden's
9th.
positions that have changed. I mentioned he was against the travel ban. A few months later, it was a great decision. He said numerous times in some of the primary debates he was against all fracking. A lot of denial on the issue of the violence and the rioting and the anarchy in cities. At one point, said police become the enemy.
I've never seen anything quite like it. The travel ban, all of a sudden he denies that, thinks it's fine, thinks it was good. But how about fracking? And you need that. It's basically your fossil fuels, your energies.
They probably scrubbed them. Oh, actually, they might have.
Always welcome to Hannity. Breaking tonight, we are tracking multiple
over the Dominion lawsuit. They might have actually scrubbed those. Ugh, fuck.
The Dominion voting systems, the Smartmatic technology software, and the software that goes in other computerized voting systems here as well, not just Dominion, were created in Venezuela at the direction of Hugo Chavez to make sure he never lost an election after one constitutional referendum came out the way he did not want it to come out. We have one very strong witness who has explained how it all works. His affidavit is attached to the pleadings of Lynn Wood in the lawsuit he filed in Georgia.
Unreal, dude.
It is a stunning, detailed affidavit because he was with Hugo Chavez while he was being briefed on how it worked. He was with Hugo Chavez when he saw it operate to make sure the election came out his way. That was the express purpose for creating this software. He has seen it operate, and as soon as he saw the multiple states shut down the voting on the night of the election, he knew the same thing was happening here, that was what had gone on. Now, the software itself was created with so many variables and so many back doors that can be hooked up to the internet or a thumb drive stuck in it or whatever.
This was November.
But one of its most characteristic
13th,
features
earlier,
is its
6 days
ability
earlier.
to flip votes. It can set and run an algorithm that probably ran all over the country to take a certain percentage of votes from President Trump and flip them to President Biden, which we might never have uncovered had the votes for President Trump not been so overwhelming in so many of these states that it broke the algorithm that had been plugged into the system. And that's what caused them to have to shut down in the states they shut down in. That's when they came in the back door with all the mail-in ballots, many of which they had actually fabricated. Some were on pristine paper with identically matching perfect circle dots for Mr. Biden. Others were shoved in batches. They're always put in a certain number of batches, and people would rerun the same batch. This corresponds to our statistical evidence that shows incredible spikes in the vote counts at particular times, and that corresponds to eyewitness testimony of numerous people who have come forward and said they saw the ballots come in the back door at that time. Notably, the Dominion executives are nowhere to be found now. They are moving their offices overnight.
Wait, it's a November 10th video. Wait, November 10th video. November 10th video. Find me this on Trump's YouTube channel. The unsubstantiated thing was by Rudy Giuliani, called Dominion. He told OANN on Tuesday. Wait, so even earlier? Maybe even before? Yeah, November. I think it's the November 10th video on Trump's channel. Just find me this. November 10th, YouTube, Donald Trump, Dominion. Meow. Before 2021. November 22nd. I can't believe the president was just like straight reposting like alternative media on his fucking YouTube channel. This is so wild.
An election similar to that.
The Trump legal team's Dominion.
What the fuck, guys? Guys, what the fuck was happening? What was going on here? Could you imagine if Joe Biden or Kamala Harris was like just posting clips from like, it would have to be further left than the Young Turks, just like clips from like commie news stations, like on Kamala Harris's YouTube channel?
Sorry to keep you waiting.
Oh shit! All the Dominion stuff might be harder to find because of the fuck. It might be harder to find because of the lawsuits. Since they lost, they might have, because it's defamation. They might have to actually take it down.
It's good to be with so many friends. And speaking of friends of mine,
December 17th. This would have been on November 10th. And it was an OANN thing. Newsmax.
So
it's fucking Newsmax. December 10th. Nope.
It's the biggest open secret.
December 5th. This obviously worked.
When I first announced I was going to run for
November
president
3rd.
5 years ago, I had a theme. We've done in decades.
Oh boy.
I noticed that Biden went out, and I think he's campaigning a little.
November 3rd. Can you feel it? November 3rd. Man, that must have been a big day. What was going on then?
I've already decisively won.
November 5th. 5th? Control F for this. Voting irregularities in Nevada under investigation.
It's important for people to understand,
November
first
10th.
and foremost, how
This isn't
insecure this system is. We have over 600,000 mail-in ballots that have been counted. Those are votes that are official in our system. We also know that we have unclean rolls. Ballots that have been mailed to dead people, to people that moved out of the state, and many other people that got a dozen ballots in their homes, etc. And what the situation we have here is that 200,000 of those votes have been verified by a machine only. And we've spoken to AI and computer vision experts on this, and they have told us that the registrar reduced the signature verification standard to 40%. And they have said,
so people understand what you're talking about. It's
Oh, I bet this is the... I bet this is her talking about Dominion.
All right, Kayleigh, let's start with you. Explain what those percentages mean, and explain you're in the process of getting these affidavits. You have, for example, you brought a pile of them with you tonight.
That's right. Were counted anyway. That 50 ballots were run multiple times through a tabulation machine. That one woman said her son was...
The average development timeline for
November
the vaccine.
13th. God damn it. These were all, I bet most of them were deleted.
That's one of the major systems
November 12th?
that were used to cast their ballots last week. The company is called Dominion Voting. It's used in 28 states, as reported by JustTheNews.com and John Solomon. Several days ago, Dominion came under heavy fire after allegations that their machines caused thousands of votes in one Michigan county to be switched from Donald Trump to Joe Biden. Take a look.
In Antrim County, ballots were counted for Democrats that were meant for Republicans, causing a 6,000 vote swing against our candidates. The county clerk came forward and said tabulating software glitched and caused a miscalculation of the votes. Since then, we have now discovered that 47 counties use this same software in the same capacity. Antrim County had to hand count all of the ballots, and these counties that use this software need to...
Machines, according to the New York Times, quote, in some cases, the new machines required too much extra power for...
I think the first statement was made on November 10th. Anyway, I think it was on Trump's YouTube, but the videos are deleted. Wait. That's not right. Wait, that's not right. Fuck this. November 10th, 2020. YouTube video on Trump's channel. Use the Wayback Machine? I don't even know what URL I would look for.
Yeah, that's right. There will be a number of affidavits filed.
All right, Kayleigh, let's start with you. Explain what those percentages mean, and explain you're in the process of getting these affidavits. You have, for example, you brought... Now, tonight, millions of Americans, you do feel betrayed. According to Politico, look at this. 70% of Republicans, they don't believe this election was free, fair, and for good reason. We saw blatant election law violations in state after state. We've watched the poll observers push 6, 20, some even saying to cameras, and now on affidavits 100 feet away. Media mob the
to overturn the governor's race in Georgia in 2018, and you say nothing about the last election. You supported Democrats when they went to court to...
CNN is airing a list shaming Republicans who haven't publicly congratulated the Wayne County, Michigan. Look at the classifying the legal affidavits alleging Democrats, and that's 1,000 votes to swing in favor of, Joe Biden. Now, the same 6 so-called software irregularities and other major, all signing legal affidavits alleging suspicious irregularities and other major issues. And let's not forget the so-called software glitch in another Michigan county that caused 6,000 votes to swing in favor of, Joe Biden. Now, the same software was used in 47 Michigan counties out of their 80-some-odd counties, and JustTheNews.com, John Solomon reporting it was used, that software, in 28 states. Now, it's not just Michigan, for example, look at Arizona. Another affidavit, another election observer claiming that poll workers incorrect, also claiming that a group of people formed a human wall to block Vizard for the signature election observed Pennsylvania, Georgia, Michigan, Wisconsin, Nevada, and months before the election, widespread surrounding it. Mail out, do more. Secretary of Administration, the process the full way of the president. This is about election integrity.
Fuck. Okay. I'll look for these off stream. December 2nd. All mentions of Dominion on Donald J. Trump's channel sorted old to new. Wait, the fuck is this? December. Oh, are these like what exist currently? Or will these include deleted videos as well?
Well, I would agree with Matt. We're dealing with, in
Reaction
my
to Election
opinion,
Day. Oh,
the
God.
larger issue
Oh, no.
that Supreme Court, as an example, could look at that indicates that there is a real it can be legitimate. So the bigger issue is, yes, if there's machines like the Dominion Dynamic that we know is in half of the counties in Michigan and multiple states, that would, and that it has a major problem, perhaps it was the service or with software, that could become a big issue. The other issue, of course, and we've got the recounts coming up. In those recounts, like with Georgia, and Wisconsin will have one, is when the parties have a chance to kind of audit as well, to see about signatures and the legitimacy of the ballots themselves. So that could be significant. Because of the volume of the mail-in, it becomes key. Because, look, all we have here is, it's one thing for a winner to be declared, and it's another thing for all of us to agree. That's the core of legitimate government, is that we as a population, as a citizenry, agree to be governed in this fashion. Yes. If we lose the ability to have faith in the election, then the legitimacy goes. That's the key of what Trump is doing here, is the legitimacy of all of this. Even though it's happened in the past, it's perhaps bigger now, and we all deserve to have answers about what happened.
Trump tweet.
Justice Thomas responded to your dissent by describing your views on race as follows. As she sees things,
Don't care about this. Fuck. Okay. This tweet is referring to a video on his YouTube channel that he posted on November 10th. I want that video. I will find this video. I'll look for it tonight. Or somebody finds it in chat. It'll make my life easier.
Dominion and all the
Dominion voting systems, and that's going to be a much longer.
Bro,
about
what the
Dominion's
fuck is this
vulnerabilities.
Website. This is Godstiny. What the fuck? What the fuck?
Last week, the company is called Dominion Voting. It's
machines like the Dominion Dynamic.
Bro, this is like a YouTube video right here. This like whole thing is a streamable. Oh my god. What is this?
The Lord gave us dominion to have.
Based. November 8th through December 19th.
Dominion voting systems, and that's going to be a much longer.
Dominion Voting Systems machine.
Okay, thank you. I need this video. It was deleted, but it was on his channel. We will find it. We will persevere. YouTube won't take down video of Trump falsely claiming he won the election. Yeah, where's that video?
Again, with the bodies of.
Damn, bro, I can't believe they. Well, I mean, I can believe it, but that hostage situation, not cool.
Of misinformation and writing, quote, "We are up big, but they are trying to steal the election day." This warning in the 20 election year.
Then conforms.
Yeah, so you're saying that
time to
information
hundreds of thousands we've cut, but at least
rather than
it seem as verified the true. Also,
I'm never gonna be able to find this video. I will find this video. Okay, I love you guys. I'll be back tomorrow. Be careful. Don't die. Say Ripperino, cappuccino, pappuccino, hoppuccino, moppuccino, dappuccino, cappuccino, appuccino, alpuccino, I do your nose. I will catch you guys. Oh, I might not stream tomorrow, actually. Maybe the next day. Or maybe late tomorrow, because I think I'm doing 2 episodes tomorrow. Good luck. Don't die. Wait, is Justical streaming or no? Oh, he's not even streaming. Wasted host. Who's streaming on Kick right now? Weed, smoking, and gaming. Oh, bro. Fucking weed. We're doing weed?
Hot one.
We're doing fucking weed and gaming? Okay,
It was
good luck.
not the vibe.
Bye.
That dirty still look.